The Udu, a planned development united, installed their neighborhood nodes throughout the entirety of Upland. Their reach was unmatched.
Alrighty, here we are today with the first UDUA meeting, the Upland Development United Academy. And my name is Ben68, and we have a few of our regular UDU members in this call, and we also have some new faces because this is the Academy side of things. As you may know, the Academy is something that we set up probably 3 or 4 weeks ago now, maybe a bit more, and that has been slowly ticking away. We weren't really sure how it was all going to unfold, and we've tried to make that clear to the people that have been coming on board that it was going to be an evolving process. And I'm excited to say that as part of that evolution, we've had one of our members who was an Academy member who stepped up and came up with some really fantastic ideas on how to run the Academy. And he stepped up to full UDU membership, and now he's also stepped up to be the big boss of the Academy. He's got some really fantastic ideas, and I'm really excited to see how we go from here. So it's over to you, HB Smitty.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'll change my name to HB Smitty. That way it's more obvious as we keep these things going. Thank you guys for joining. I don't have too much written up, just a little bit to get started. I like to do little success stories or standard work. So did anybody have a success story for the week, whether that's Upland, not related to Upland, anything?
I guess I kind of have. Can you guys hear?
What do you got? Yep. Yeah, we can hear.
I posted it in the off-topic chat thing earlier, but I'll try and cut a long story short. I've got a health condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This month has been Awareness Month for that health condition. So I've been pretty much spending all my free time painting some Warhammer models in honor of putting them on eBay to auction off for charity and to go towards the Ehlers-Danlos Society. So today I finally got the models finished. I've got some really nice photos done. I've got the auction set up, and I've bombed social media. So I'm a little bit chuffed right now. I've actually got a little bit of success stories. So yeah.
I like it.
Sorry, it's not
great.
Upland related.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. It's all related in some aspect. You actually reminded me of Warhammer. I forgot that I ever used to play that game. My success story, I would say, is Upland property development finally making its way out in some form, even if we're all not directly related. That's huge and going to have large implications on the game. Standard work that I have, I don't think I actually put a standard work in here at all. Oh, standard work. New member onboarding. Please reach out to myself, Ben. You can reach out to Nemo, Ryan, anybody that's in the vice chancellor role. We're going to try to make that more of a standard approach to where we'll have a channel that you can just drop their user ID and somebody will reach out and get them engaged with a mentor. But that will be out in the future. So some future things coming up. I wanted to coordinate with Ben and UDU members on possibly having a UDUA focused node in the coming releases. As we know, they're going to be 50% FSA and then 25% FSA. So that gives us a large opening to get some of our guys that are pro into director via minting, large nodes out of that, or not nodes, large properties out of that release. So nothing's formed yet. I haven't actually spoken with him directly about that, but I think if we can get this group of people focused on one area in that release, that'd be huge. And it'd be a place that UDUA could kind of officially put their flag down as their node. I'll be updating the members list and getting documentation squared away. I've been in vacation for the last couple of days. I'll be here through the rest of the week. but that should be getting fixed soon. Ben, I'll probably just have to copy what you had over because I can't edit the message that you had. Another thing that I'm hoping that we can really get going soon is I've been using Clip through my career for a couple of years now. It's just a live document editing platform so that we can make a spreadsheet, say on release, and you guys could drop properties that you were aiming for, or we can put meeting minutes and everybody can update their section as we go and develop things. So I've been talking with Ben briefly about that, and I messaged Envenom to see what he had to say, but as we know, he's busy currently. So hopefully that can come soon. Tied in with those, I've been working on whiteboarding and kind of getting the code going for some Discord Python bytes that we're going to be using for collection swaps. So say somebody comes in, they buy into a node, they've been doing really well buying into, you know, a collected effort with somebody and we're trying to reward them. I think it's a little bit easier if we say looked at one user's collections that they've completed and properties that they hold and then compare it to the others and just generate a quick little list. That way they can go to a channel and just track it via that way. Instead of saying, oh, you know, what were those 3 random properties that you traded us to get it started? And then on top of that one, say we're buying in a collective effort, like 20 people want to buy Quailwood in Bakersfield at release. Right now, it's a lot of weight left on the person that's either fronting UPX or trying to tell people where to be to make everything feel even and make it seem like you guys are getting
I watched those
what you're
YouTube
supposed to
things,
be
and
getting.
they were like kind of a joke.
Hang on a minute, guys.
It's
Can you
just like-
please mute your microphones?
They're a bunch of nerds.
We got DJ sourcing
I'm in meeting
things.
now. Oh.
Guys, mute your microphones, please.
There we go. We're good.
DJ. Sorry, Hayden.
You're good. So those Discord bots would likely be set up to kind of alleviate a lot of the pressure from the people that are setting up those buying efforts. So the idea would be, say I get 5 very rare properties and then just 10 non-collection properties. I would trade those into a pool of a UDU member and I would be granted like weighted roles so that when all of our properties have been traded in, there's then a kind of like loot system that you would have in an MMO almost, where I would then react with my UPX coin that's purple, right? And that might mean that that's tied to the limited property that I traded in. So it'd be a system where you're only able to get what you put in to the collected effort, but it would ensure that you're still able to get those rare properties and that they're not all funneling to one member per se. And there's a little bit of fun to it. So that's gonna be a little bit ways out because there's still a lot that we would have to talk about how you weight properties of UP2 versus the collections that they're in. But those are some of the ideas that I have coming up. And then one that's a little bit less complicated would just be automating the mentor and mentee assignment process. Even just in a couple of days, me trying to message people on Discord from my phone, I'm sitting here going, okay, what time zone are you in? How does that relate to these people and what time they're available? So hopefully I can get a little bot that without being, you know, a non-human interaction, it's like, hey, you guys are able to work with this member that is in your time zone. So that's what I've got going. Future things, stuff that we're hoping to get out into UDUA in the near future. As far as mentor and mentee interaction, thank you everybody that signed up and has been working with the mentees. I know they probably have tons of questions for you guys and everything that you can do to help these new players and are not so new players that are trying to get in with the organization. It's great for their forming. So mentees, please ask any and every question that you have. Let us know what we can do as an organization for you. Things that may be missing, things that we're doing great. It's all still forming, so the more feedback that we get, the better we can do. That is all that I had for future things. I think I kind of sprinted through that. We'll try to use the time allotment a little bit better. But does anybody have any questions? I guess I'd like to kind of open the floor since we have a bunch of new people here. Is that okay, Ben, if you want to field some questions possibly on UDU, how UDUA ties into all that?
Yeah, that's all good. I did want to thank, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Bokio1? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank you as well. You're another member that kind of you're new to our group, but you've stepped up and done just taken on your own back to do a whole bunch of behind the scenes management sort of stuff. So thank you for all the work you've been doing as well. Yeah, it's been really helpful, and it's been great to see guys like yourself and HB just pick the ball up with this and just kind of start to make it your own. And that's kind of what we always envisioned. It's no slight on the other members that came on board and were hoping to set things up. As you can imagine, with UU stuff, we've all got 1,000 different things going on. So it's really good to see the new guys and hopefully we'll get some girls too, new people in the team really stepping up and, as I said, making it their own and running with it. So, yep. I don't know, did anybody have any questions they wanted to ask, or how's everything going?
The note thing, Hayden, is that an idea for Chicago, or is it for Bakersfield?
So that would likely be for Chicago or Cleveland,
Okay.
one of the releases that is out in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's too much that we can do now that Bakersfield has been released as it has. I mean, we can definitely still try to get FSA buyers and get new players engaged, but that would be something that's down the road that, we have a week or at least a couple day plan before we get to that release.
Yeah, we've got our 2 community nodes too, and they're kind of sitting there, and we're not really sure what we're going to do with those just as of yet as well. So perhaps they can be utilized in some way. However, yeah, if you wanted to make your own standalone node, that's fine. We'll see what we can do. We can play it by ear by that. Should be pretty easy in Chicago, seeing as though it's only 25% FSA. It's just a matter of coordinating, which can be quite tricky because I know when, when Oakland released and DJ was looking to secure his nodes, it was literally 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and then we made the decision and then we went. So that took a coordinated effort while we're in a Zoom call. So we'll just have to play that one by ear. With such a big release as Chicago, I think it's pretty likely that we'll be having a Zoom meeting anyway. So we'll probably just open that right up to all of the UDU members, all of the UDU A members. Just get everybody involved in that. And there might be 3 or 4 targets that we go for. And who knows, with all of these burns that have been happening, like I know with Bakersfield, I couldn't even get where I wanted to get. So it had to be a last minute contingency plan. And it was actually helpful when we did when did we record that one? Angela, do you remember when that was? When we were all in the Zoom and DJ was dancing?
That was the first release in Oakland, man.
Yes, that was Oakland, yeah. So that was kind of fun because we had, there was other members like Erawahu, they were in certain areas and they were saying, oh, hang on, we need to go here now. There's people moving in here. It was kind of very fluid. Having us all on at the same time was quite fun. It made what is usually quite a boring or quite a very frustrating experience. It made it, a bit entertaining, a bit of fun. So we'll definitely look to set up something like that. Anybody else have anything they want to say? Ryan, you're looking suspiciously quiet over there, and you were one of the members, and also Arlen, that you jumped in with the academy pretty early on. Is there anything you want to speak to in regards to how it's all been evolving and things like that?
Pardon me.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off there, Arlen.
Oh, no, that's cool. You were having one.
I mean, it's just exciting for me, more than anything. I mean, you just look at the group that's developing and how many people are here and how many people are active, involved. I mean, we've been at this maybe 4 weeks now. And I mean, you look at, Hayden, we've got a lot of people stepping up who have come through the UDU who are doing a lot more. It's fun. And it really, I don't know, it makes me excited for where we're going as much as anything. I mean, we've got a lot of things to iron out. We've got a lot of good ideas here that need to be put to paper, but I think that we've got a really good group of people building out to do it. And it makes it more fun for me. I mean, I spend most of my time talking to everybody in the UDUA and announce, new players coming in or wanting to come in and stuff. And that I really enjoy that. And then to see that actually have fruit where people are really starting to plug in and do things is it makes the work on the front end worth it.
Should say that's Nemo Ryan speaking too, if you don't know.
Yeah, not Amy Carpenter. Somehow my Zoom got switched from mine to my wife on my phone, and I don't know what happened, but I'm here anyway.
And Alan, you wanted to speak to that too?
Oh yeah, just really quickly. Sorry for cutting you off, man. To apologize. Yeah, no, just wanted to say everyone that's come on in the academy recently has just done such a fantastic job, and seeing it grow so much, it's been great. And speaking for my team of guys that I've been working with, Slab and previously Bakio as well, who's now mentor, which is great to see. Everyone's been really happy lately. I just had another question as well. A lot of talk about Chicago, and me myself. Just to say as well, has been thinking about making a play there. But is anyone thinking about Cleveland aside from team? I know you spoke to that myself, but are we looking to make any plays there?
I imagine we would, but yeah, I know nothing about American geography. I know absolutely nothing. So we'll look to our American friends to give us some ideas of that. It can also be like once the map opens up, we have a look. That obviously plays a huge role. We know with Staten Island, there was a few areas where we thought, as UDU, we were going to go in and go for a node there, but then you open up the map and there was actually 0 properties there. It was just all big, massive parks. So yeah, it's kind of a up in the air situation. But yeah, well, of course, we will definitely be going for something there for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, and I used to live just in the suburbs of Chicago, was there, and my family's all from right outside of that area. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited, but I think we're really going to have to see how they break down the map before we can really nail anything down. I mean, I've got family in Bakersfield as well, and how they broke that out was kind of not what I expected at all. So, how much of the suburbs and how much of the city, and I mean, there's so many things there. It's really going to be an interesting, I mean, just got to wait and see. And then once the map is dropped out, be ready to start making some quick decisions on how and where we want to go.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, guys. Just want to have a quick chat about that. Cool.
How long does it normally take to know what the collections are? So when they are out of the vanilla mode?
Good question. For Manhattan, it took quite a while. And Manhattan was a completely different situation where they released everything in what they called bubbles. So there was a number of community competitions that went on. If you I think it was if you placed in the top 3 or 5 or something like that. Numex might remember. But if you, it doesn't matter. If you came first or to third or something like that, you were sent to a special area that was opened up within Manhattan. And you had, I think it might have been 24 hours to mint ahead of the whole pack. We didn't really know it at the time, but in hindsight, those areas that people were dropped in, they ended up being quite important areas for collections and things like that. So like, I think it was like, there was an area on one of the bubbles that covered parts of the theatre district and Little Italy and things like that. So they released in several bubbles, and then the whole city opened up, and that was when we had the fun race to Wall Street, which I really wish I had recorded that. It was insane. I managed to snag 3 properties there. I don't know how, but yeah, that was really, really fun. And
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, there was several areas like that, which you kind of knew they're going to be a collection, like Broadway Street and a few others. But yeah, it was months and months and months before the collections were revealed. I don't know the system that they're going to run with Chicago. I'm hoping it's going to be, personally, I hope they just open it completely up and it's a free-for-all. I would assume that possibly the ultra rare collections may be locked. They have a bit of a recent history in keeping those locked. I would like to see that be opened up again like it was in Manhattan, but we'll just have to wait and see. It was fun in a way. Like, it inspired a lot of conversations and backwards and forth things in the community. Like, I know I was in DMs nonstop, talking to people like T Davis and, a few of those other guys that know the area well. What do you think is going to be a collection? And And it was a case of a lot of FOMO. Somebody would come up in the community and say, well, how about this idea? And then we'd all go and do a bit of Google searching, and you'd think, yeah, that must be it. So you'd race back over, and at the time, you know, you'd spend 20, 30, 40,000 UPEX, and you'd be right at the end of your budget, and you'd think, oh, I'll see how it goes. Most of that didn't pay off, but, you know, it was a lot of fun, and, you know, those properties are still going to maintain their value. I swore at the end of that I wasn't going to go in deep with speculation that heavy again. Like, I think I spent 3-4 million UPEX on speculation, and then, yeah, obviously it didn't all pan out. If I had have held that UPEX and waited until the collections were revealed and then bought really big properties, I would have been a lot better off as far as my dividends go. However, I did buy a whole bunch of properties in Harlem, for example. I think I bought like 250 properties or something, and that turned out to be a collection. So that was just kind of lucky. But we know now that with the issues with supply and demand, that option to just sit back and wait for the collections to be revealed, it's probably not going to happen anymore. You either get what you can get when you can get it, or you're going to miss out. So it's going to be a really kind of unique, interesting, fun, maybe, I don't know, frustrating, I don't know. But yeah, I'm hoping they just open the whole lot up and it's a Wild West free for all, but we shall see.
For the collections that were not sold out when they were announced, and so some people had already mentioned them and then they locked them, right? So they announced the collection and they lock them. What do you see in the mint difference between, you know, the guy who minted it before the collection and now the collection is announced and it has to be minted after? In terms of like the amount, like the difference.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a funny one. Like, take Wall Street, for example. If that hadn't have been bought out straight away, the properties that I purchased, I think the properties I purchased were, say, 200,000 UPEX. If they had been available after the collections were revealed and after the dividend boost had been applied, those properties would have been closer to probably 3 million, because it's an yeah, exactly.
4.2.
Yeah, so there would have
still
been
2 million before the collection announcement.
No, 200,000. So
Okay,
it's almost, I think it's 11x or something like that.
Okay.
Hang on.
21 for an ultra rare, 11 for rare, 3 for exclusive, and 1.5 for the limiteds, and the standard ones are just 1.
21x, there you go. So that would have been closer to 4.5 million. So a property that I bought for 200,000 would have cost 4.5 million. So obviously the dividends are impacted with that. It didn't really matter in Wall Street because they were all sold out, so the dividends didn't change. But in collections like, I believe it was Soho, you had a whole bunch of properties that were purchased before collections were revealed. So their dividends were set at that mint rate. And then after the collections were revealed, yeah, as you're saying, that everything's frozen. They jack all the prices up to reflect the increase, and then the dividends get increased as well. And we've talked about this in the UDU meetings as well. You have to be really careful if you're buying properties like that off the secondary market. It also happened in San Francisco in the financial district. Yeah, make sure that you check the dividends, because, you know, you might be paying, for example, let's say you paid $100,000 for a property in Soho. There might be 2 properties there that are 100,000 each that are the same up squared size, but the dividends could be completely different. You know, you might be talking a difference of, you know, thousands of UPEX difference for the same price. So always check.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on, Hayden?
No, I think from that conversation, though, I wanted to mention that I'll probably be trying to get in some kind of voice chat, whether that's Discord or Zoom for every release, and urging everyone in UDUA to do it. I think it kind of showed in Bakersfield after it opened up. I think if you had 20 people on a call and we all last minute wanted to go to a location instead of, you know, I went to Quailwood, somebody went to Windsong, somebody was going to Oaks, like you can make so much profit off of our collected efforts. So going forward, I'll try to lead getting people into those voice chats or Zoom calls, whatever it may be. If you can't join because of the time that it is and you're laying in bed, then hop on voice and listen at least, or we'll have a chat that runs side by side maybe. But I think that'd be very beneficial. And then things that I'll promise to the team that we'll have ready for next week. Let's see. Well, next week goals rather. I'm going to try to have temporary hosts set up for those Discord bots that I mentioned. The document platform clip that I mentioned, hopefully we'll have that up and running so that we can take meeting minutes and start making collective spreadsheets there. It kind of runs a little bit better than Google Docs, which is a little bit link sharing heavy. And then I'm going to work on improving the Discord server here a little bit in whatever ways it needs. Haven't had much time to get to it after Ben handed it off, but we'll be working on that soon. And then just follow Upland news as things are going on this week. I know not a lot is impacting some of us that aren't building with Spark, but there's a lot of things that are going to be impacting the game as it develops. So I think watching some of those players like Ben or the people that have the Genesis property getting minted right now, it's very good to pay attention and see exactly what's going on with that process so that we're all ready when we can develop. And that's really all I had. Thank you guys, everybody that had done UDUA before I came and stole it. I appreciate everyone's work, and I'm always open for your ideas. Ping me, DM me anytime, and I'll respond.
Right, and yeah.
I have another question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jack.
So there's like a FAQ about UDU on the admin channel, which is like, you know, it's nice, like one pager, real simple, easy to send out. Is there something like that or something that works for UDUA?
That's a great question, and it's kind of what I was about to speak for now. Does everybody know, how do you become a member of the UDUA? What's the process? If somebody asks you, how do I become a member? What's the process to become an Academy member?
Well,
give someone like you a shout. Oh, sorry.
No problem at all. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. Before this, I would just send them to Erlen or Nemo Ryan. But right now, I would just forward them to HP Smitty. So yeah, pretty much that. I mean, Academy is, in my opinion, pretty much open to anyone who's just interested in becoming a member.
Yep, that's correct. What I typically do is just have a bit of a backwards and forwards conversation. You know, what are you looking to do? Where are you at? And that sort of things. And yeah, it's been good now. I've just been sending HP, I've just been sending him their Discord profile card. I say, here you go. Yeah, so thanks for that. Okay, so that we know that's the process for the UDUA. How about for UDU membership? We've also had a lot of people come in, and you know, that's probably the most visible side of things that's out in the community. And we have people asking myself and others, how do I become a UDU member? Does anybody, Bocchio one, do you want to have a go at that? How do you become a UDU member?
Ooh, honestly, I don't know. So that's a good question.
Yep, that's exactly what we're looking for. Yep.
Well, exactly not what we're looking for, right? I mean,
in this call, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I was going to say, if you're asking how do we, sorry, if you're asking how do we believe it would work, my understanding is that they need to own 3 properties in a node area. That's my understanding, and then they need to have a chat with you, Ben, or another founder, and have a talk about what they want to do, what they want to achieve, that kind of thing, and then you'll go from there. Is my understanding.
Yeah, we do have the other document that we send out to that lists a bunch of our nodes. It has the UDU nodes, it has the Little Italy nodes, and it also now was updated with the TMU nodes, Teams nodes. I did have a player reach out last night before I went to bed and say, hang on a minute, I've got 3 properties in Bergen Beach, which is one of Teams nodes. Does that mean I can be a UDU member? And that made me think, well, that's a great question, actually, because it's important to understand that there are some different associative collaborations within the UDU. So there is, at the moment, presently, there's Little Italy, and there's also Team, and we know, you may not be aware now, that Venom has also branched off with his Green Rabbit. That one's a little bit different because Venom is still very much, a co-founding member of the UDU and that sort of things. But when we're talking about the Little Italy partnership and the Team partnership, and there are several others in the pipeline as well, they're separate from the UDU, but they're still with us, sort of thing. So there's probably, I haven't had a look, there might be 50, 60 members in the Little Italy team, but not all of them are UDU members. It's only the ones who decide that they want to step up. We've had, I know Reginx, he recently stepped up to UDU membership, and of course there's T Davis and B Day. What typically happens in those situations with co-ops is that 1 or 2 of the leaders of the co-ops, they will come on board as official UDU members, and they act as almost an intermediary between UDU and their own co-op. So yeah, having a set of 3 properties in one of those associative co-ops doesn't mean you're a UDU member. You still need to go through the process of securing properties in one of our official nodes. So at the moment we've got Midtown Terrace, Balboa Terrace, Lone Mountain, Diamond, Upper Diamond, and School. Those are our main UDU member nodes. So it's a bit of a strange process at the moment, and I do need to clarify that a bit in that document. So there's a few things to work out. Yeah, so
maybe maybe it's also a good idea to post something in the Discord group of the UDU how to actually achieve that, because I know there are some strategies to create that node, like how to raise the floor or choose to offer first, because otherwise you will raise the floor, then people can sell them for way too high, and then you have to buy in for more UPX. Those kind of strategies or tactics, I know something about them, but not everything. So maybe it's good to share that too, also with our members. I don't know if it's already in the UDU chat, but not in the UDU.
Yeah, I'm actually working on another 1-page document that has the UDU strategy. We've had it kicked off in the community. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, you're going to destroy it, and it's not good that there's only one team that's got control of the whole of Upland. I mean, that's coming from people that don't really understand what's happening. There are several very, very large co-ops in the community, very well established, San Francisco based. They're just not visible. They've been waiting for property development, that sort of thing. So yeah, I will be putting a strategy document together. It's fairly well along. That just basically, it outlines all of that stuff that we're going to put out publicly, that shows, we work together to identify an area. We coordinate to buy up that area. We buy out all the flippers, we buy out the floor, and it lists the reasons for that and whatnot. So yeah, that's a great question. But yeah, it's definitely something that we're working on.
Yeah, I'll work to get all of the data that you guys need in UDUA server replicated over from what's in UDU. I'll work with Ben to get all those. I think he sent most of that, but we'll be working to revamp that. If you don't mind, if you guys just want to send me like a little, these are my feedback ideas at the end of the meeting, that'll help me get them all jotted down, and I'll get those to you guys.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, and just to add on to this, in UDU, we try to be as transparent as we can be. So with the UDUA, we pretty much share everything. I mean, I haven't seen much in UDU that we didn't share with UDUA. If you feel left out in any way, just give us a shout, I guess. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're all pretty good people, and we want to make full members out of you. So that is my opinion, my end goal. So yeah, don't think that we're just a group of whales on top of you, and we're just preying on you guys for easy access of FSA. Most of you can't even buy FSA anymore. So yeah, whenever you feel left out or whatever, just give us a shout out.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're all about. That's the reason that the academy exists, is to help people through that difficult. You know, you've turned pro. Now what? Because it's quite a massive jump to, you know, just turning pro and then to reach director. There's a lot of work to be involved. So that's what we're all about. And yeah, as Nubex has said, we're fairly open as far as sharing things across. More often than not, it's just a case of I've forgotten to do something, or, you know, there's something else has been happening and that sort of thing. So between the UDU and the UDUA now, we've had almost 100 players engaged, and of those we've only really seen 2 bad actors. I think that's pretty good batting average. That speaks a little bit to the kind of vetting process that we do, which, to be honest, it has been pretty loose. I know I've had some really good feedback from Finsky, one of our long-term UDU members. He shared some concerns that he had and some paths forward for vetting players. We don't want to be too restrictive with that. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's a little bit different with the academy versus the UDU itself. I know, and I've spoken to this previously, if a player reaches out and says, well, how do I get into a node? And I say, well, the buy-in is 100K per property. If they flip out and say, well, that's ridiculous, blah, 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 it's clear that they don't see the bigger picture, or they don't understand what it is that we do and things like that. Yeah, so we try to keep it open.
Yeah, I just want to
try to continue.
Just one second. Yeah, I just want to add on to that. I just watched the market like explode in Merck Manor, or however I should pronounce that. And probably it will implode in Marina as well, since there are just 3 or 4 props going up right now, buildings going up right now. So yeah, I watched the Merck Manor market go from 30K to 47K. So that's already a pretty huge raise. And I think we can manage to make that happen in UDU territory as well. Especially in the ones we really hold, like Demand, Upper Demand, and I think the school district as well in Oakland. And in San Francisco, we have some good nodes as well. So
sorry, no, I'll just add on to that. I actually, for the UDU meeting that we got coming up, and I can share with you guys ahead of that, I ran some numbers in the Midtown Terrace United, the Genesis node for us in UDU. I did this by hand, so there will be some errors, but it looks like we have 46 members, UDU members in that neighborhood. Of that, we control 270 of 350 properties. So that's like almost 80%. So you imagine once we're all building in there, it's going to look pretty cool. And yeah, I'm sure you can imagine what that's going to do to property values, as Nubex has already spoken to. And for those of you that don't know, Merced Manor, it's one of the big co-op teams that's been kind of flying under the radar for a while. So there's a lot of OG players and associated with that, and true whales. Like, people call me a whale, I'm not a whale. But yeah, some really true whales behind some of these other co-ops. So we're likely to see a big explosion of activity as far as other co-ops and that sort of thing. Yep.
Is there some kind of overlap? Because I think that there are certain nodes, right? And maybe there are also the same players in different nodes. So is there a certain order? So then you can say, like, okay, we're going to develop node A first, and then node B, or is it going to be simultaneously, or how does it look like, or is that not known yet?
Hey, good morning, everybody. DJ here.
Hey, Deej.
Hey, I can jump in on that one. So I've put in about 5 or 6 million into Diamond and Upper Diamond, and I anticipate at least a few million more. And having said all that, I'm still going to be building in MTU first. That was the Genesis node, and that is where we're going to get started. So there will be an order. We don't have it all pecked out just yet. Working on the plans still, but yeah, there will definitely be a plan. So once we have it finalized, we'll make that public, and everyone will know.
Yeah, I can speak further to that as well. Like, it is a situation as well that we have like DJ's nodes in Oakland, but property development is not live in Oakland yet. Property development's in San Francisco and Fresno, so we're kind of limited to that. But yeah, if you're a UDU member or a UDUA member, it doesn't mean you can't build in other co-ops. I have commitments to build in other places as well that I will get to. There's several members that are active within the other co-ops. We're not about being restrictive or trying to tie you into locking you down into something. That's not what we're about at all. It's about, you know, supporting you to do whatever you want, pretty much. It's that sort of thing. But yeah, within the property development, because it's San Francisco at the start, we have 3 nodes in San Francisco, 3 main UDU nodes. We have the Midtown Terrace, Balboa Terrace, and Lone Mountain, and those will probably be built out in that order. We'll just have to see how it goes. I can tell you that as a OG player, as they're calling it, an executive at the time of that they took the Spark snapshot, I've been awarded 2 Spark, which is, I don't know, doesn't seem like a lot. I'd hate to see what everybody else is going to get. So 2 Spark, and I've started building. I put 3 properties up straight away in Midtown Terrace, and I've set them at 0.5 Spark to build. 216 days to get those completed. So that was a bit of a shock to the system. Yeah, I'm not sure that doesn't really reflect the real world to me. I guess they're probably trying to really encourage the Spark exchange they're talking about, and also the collaboration where you can loan Spark to help projects. I did save some of my Spark. I will be helping to build the Genesis property that Thank Me Later's got going, or, you know, there'll be other opportunities to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, please don't think that if you're in the academy or the UDU that you have to stick to building, you know, what we say. That's not what we're about at all.
Wow, did you say 217 days, Ben?
217 days. That was for a townhouse, so not the small townhouse. That was for a townhouse, 216 days with 0.5 Spark staked.
What's that come out to, about 7 months?
Yeah, it comes out to ridiculous. Yeah.
Whew. Oh, that's way longer than I was anticipating. Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe like 1 Spark for maybe 3 months, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. No,
I was thinking we'd be able to pop out skyscrapers in 6 weeks.
Well,
yeah, but my guess was they were going to. Sorry, my guess was they were going to have the process sped up a little bit, because obviously they want the network tested, don't they? They want to see that all these processes can happen and that you guys can share your Spark and all that. So I think it's a bit daft that they've not sped it up so they can see how this actually rolls out in a quicker time rather than 200 odd days.
Well, that was, we did have all the SPUD tests for that. That kind of tested all the system. And I think if they sped up this initial beta release that only a certain amount of people have, I can just imagine the butthurt that would go on in the community. You know, yeah, we've already got a bit of a head start as it is. So I think it's probably just a case of they're trying to spark the economy.
Yeah, well, they also said that this is not permanent. So it might be that it actually gets quicker when Spark is there for everyone, just to make sure that the people who have Spark now don't get too much of a head start. But I don't know. As always, I have to say that I don't have any extra information regarding that. But it's pretty cool to see that finally buildings are popping up and these buildings will become permanent. That's just a huge step, and that's, yeah, today's a huge day for Upland.
Somebody in the general Discord posted a document, and I can't find the original one anywhere, that said this rate is actually about a quarter of what is going to be normal. And I don't know where they got that info, but they had a breakdown of how many Spark for each kind of building and what the actual rate was over time. And they posted a snapshot of it. And I tried to track that down. It was like, 20 minutes before this meeting started. And I haven't been able to figure out where they sourced it to prove it out. But that was one thing that was interesting, because I was like, this is going to take forever to do any sort of development. But I'm curious to see if they hold this to the actual time frame we're at now.
Yeah, it'll be a weird one, because you're going to have new players that come in. Like, imagine like you're a player that starts next week, and you come in and you do some competition and you get 0.1 Spark, and you go, hey, let's go and build a property. Hang on, it's going to take
4 years.
It's going to take 700 days or something crazy. It's yeah. I imagine there's going to be some adjustments there at some stage.
And you can only build one building, the smallest one. if that's the case, you need 0.4 for an apartment building, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's important to understand that it's still in beta. This is all, there'll be a painful teething process, no doubt, as there always is with anything that they bring in. Lessons learned. They'll reconfigure things, and we'll see how we go.
I think I may have found what you were talking about. I sent it in the chat, like a breakdown of the Spark hours by structure.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So then in the future, new players will now they are like begging for visits, and I think in the future they will be begging for sparks. Like, can you lend me 0.05 spark? I have not seen the video yet, but is that exponential? So when you invest more spark to build something, that the tempo increases like this, not linear?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's exponential or linear or logarithmic. I'm not sure. Yeah,
It did say there was a cap that on the amount that you could actually stake per building.
Yeah, that was the same for the spud testing as well. You couldn't just throw. You couldn't throw 1 million UPEX at it and just get it done. There was a cap. Yep. Yeah. So we'll just have to see.
They also said something that those who participated in this Genesis were going to be given Spark for participating too in the meeting. They weren't. I mean, it was a half sentence between Adon and X1, but I was curious to see on that. Hopefully that has some reality in it, because the amount of work that everybody like yourself are doing. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it all pans out.
Like always.
Yes. Alrighty, HB, was there anything else you wanted to touch on? Are we okay to wrap up? Did anybody else have any questions?
I'm good. Thank you guys all for joining.
Yep.
If anybody has anything else, then the floor is open.
Yeah, I just wanted to say too, this is probably the only meeting that I will jump in myself personally, because this was a 2:30 a.m. alarm for me to do this one. That's okay if it works out for you guys. We discussed that in the back end. HB's the man. He's going to pick it up and run with it. He will send me the audio and sound files, and I'll get it uploaded on our YouTube channel and that sort of thing. But yeah, really happy and looking forward to seeing the Academy guys and girls, pick it up, make it your own. Even with the meetings, play those out however it works for you, whether it's a backwards and forwards, or whether it's like we've set up with the UDU where we have some key members having the little segments. Pretty much make it your own. And yeah, we're always here to discuss anything or offer advice. Reach out at any time. We may be busy, we may be slow to get back to you, but it's not because we're not interested or something like that. So yeah, all yours, Hayden.
All right, thanks Ben for stopping by. We'll let you get back to sleep now.
I actually got to prepare for the UDU meeting now, so I won't bother.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, forgot about that. If you guys have any feedback, as always, I've probably said it 5 times now. Hit me up. I'm open in DMs on Discord. Looking to be active, so I'll let you guys go. Have your afternoons or mornings or whatever it may be back.
Hey,
Yeah,
real
can I
quick,
just
guys,
quickly
I
add
just
some-
want to say
sorry, go on.
thank you to HB Smitty and Nemo Ryan. I know you guys have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, so thank you guys, and keep it going. And if you need anything from me, please let me know.
I just pretty much wanted to say the same thing. Like, on behalf of some of the new players, thanks so much for all you guys for doing this academy thing. Like, the fact that you're all prepared to take some of your time to take us under your wing and share, you know, a lot of really valuable knowledge is really awesome, you know, and especially in an environment that does have the opportunity to like fear out and people could really profit from this. The fact that you guys aren't going for personal gain and you're willing to take on people that you don't actually know at all and trust us all. Like you said earlier, Ben, you know, you're taking us as we come to you, you know, there's no prejudgments on any of us. You're helping us all out equally. And yeah, just really appreciate it, because this is it's definitely a steep learning curve in this game, and it's a bit of a mad world to be in. And the fact that there's people like you all, you know, all of you, you know, you're all helping in your own way. So yeah, appreciate it all. Really do. Nice one, guys.
Right on. Thanks for that.
Well said.
Absolutely.
Right. If nobody else has got anything to say, we'll wrap this one up. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy, guys and gals.
Take care.
Thanks everybody for jumping on board. And yep, we'll get this uploaded soon. Should be available later this afternoon. Thanks everybody.
Sounds good.